Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a pick a card reading for the collective. Collective, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and official TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Collective, I hope that you're doing well. I was asked to do some pick a card readings. So this pick a card reading today is all about messages from your spirit guides. What do they want to say to you that is really crucial right now? So there are three cards that were on the cover page. The first one was Thanatos. The second one was the Unseen. So this will be pile 1 and pile 2, the Unseen. Pile 3 will be the Crone. So I'm going to be using two decks for this reading today. The Nefertari Tarot, which is a brand new deck that a friend gave to me, which is absolutely stunning. It's the first time I'm using it. And of course, the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck for those overall energies. So I'm going to hold the cards up one more time so you can make your decision about which pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Which one speaks to you? Don't overthink it. It's the first image that calls your attention. That's the message you should listen to. Timestamps will be in the description box below. I'll see you then. Hi, pile 1. You chose Thanatos. This card, Thanatos, which is really striking with its spider web imagery and kind of these strange hands and parts in the middle here that seem to be kind of held in stasis or trapped. So I wanted to show that to you. The crystal that is associated with this pile, this is a beautiful Praenite crystal with epidote. And I often use this crystal. It's a beautiful kind of minty green color. I often use this crystal when I am working with the energies of Mercury retrograde, because during those periods of time, communication seems to break down. Right? Things, emails don't go through, computers don't seem to work, technology is on the fritz, and I always either wear this crystal or I hold this crystal to try and kind of clear thoughts. So there might be something in that. Thank you, Spirit. Gosh, that was so loud. That you may be feeling right now, that it's like you think something in your head, but when it comes out of your mouth or when you try to communicate, the words are not coming out. The message is not being conveyed in the way that you would like it to. So maybe at this time you're feeling a lot of miscommunication with other people, or perhaps they with you. So if that's the theme, that you might want to get yourself a piece of Praenite crystal, or just to be aware of it, maybe to go slower in your communication. Make sure that you reread emails, text messages, that you clarify with the other person, just to make sure, did you understand like the instructions? Did you understand what I was saying? I just want to make sure that, we're on the same page about something, kind of taking that one extra step. So that could be part of the message from your spirit guides today. I think it's an important one. I think it's one that's always important, right? That we make sure that we're understood. But with this energy here, perhaps the messages are getting lost in the sauce, that they're getting kind of mixed up and jumbled, and there's only fragments of things that are coming through. This could be very frustrating, especially if you're the one that did not cast this net. If you're not the one that was the architect of the net, and you're rather the one that is trapped within its bounds, it can be difficult for you to kind of untangle yourself. And so let's get some clarifiers for that energy. This is for pile 1, the collective, for messages from your spirit guides related to Thanatos. And at the end of your reading, I will read from the book. I'm just going to pull 3 cards just to get a general message. Okay, so we got the World card. The World card. Aren't these cards beautiful? The Knight of Chalices, or the Knight of Cups. And the Death card. Number 13 of the Major Arcana. This was number 21 of the Major Arcana. So only 3 cards on the table. I'm not pulling any clarifiers. 2 of them are major arcanas. The sense that the reason why perhaps there's a feeling of kind of entanglement is perhaps because at this time, because I'm even doing this, you could be cutting the final chords related to a chapter that's coming to a close. That's interesting too. With this kind of this figure here, it looks like a bridge, or it looks like a canopy, this figure here, and these 2 arms kind of holding it up. It's almost as if there's been the weight of the world on your shoulders, and finally it seems like we're closing out this chapter, right? And we're beginning a new one. And it requires us, in some senses, Spirit is saying, to bring some compassion and love to the scenario, and that could be difficult. I'm feeling some hesitation with this Knight of Chalices, because the Knights in the tarot, they bring messages, but they're also people of action. The Knights, you know, they jump on their horses and they gallop towards whatever scenario, and they're kind of setting off on, you know, really trying to sometimes come to the rescue of a situation. The Cups energy is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and it is all about the emotions, love, friendship, relationships. And it's looking on my desk anyway, the horse is looking at the world situation, kind of like, I'm coming, to infuse some heart chakra and heart-centered energy to that closure. And perhaps it's not for anybody else but yourself, right? Kind of saying goodbye to a section or a chapter of your life that it could have been difficult for you, or it could have been something that it felt like that chapter that lasted forever. It's finally coming to a close, and even though you might want it to come to a close, it still could be a painful process. We might be saying goodbye to people or situations. If you're leaving a relationship and entering into another, or you're leaving a job and entering into another, all of these things could be at play. And Spirit is saying, please bring some compassion, some empathy, perhaps a little bit of forgiveness to the scenario, and just allow there to be peace. Could be difficult. Finishing here with the number 13, the Death card. This is Scorpio energy. This is heralding in kind of a new beginning in a different kind of way, that there's something that this ending, actually, now that I look at these cards, it could be premature. So thank you, Spirit. Okay, it's premature. So you weren't anticipating this chapter closing so fast. You thought maybe you had a couple more years or a couple more months, or that the circumstances were going to be different, and it just didn't end up being that way. Maybe because there was an offer coming in that you couldn't refuse, because it was filled with so much of what you wanted, what you needed, what spoke to your heart space. And now we're having to say goodbye. The thing about the Death card is that it's death and rebirth. So there's this newness, there's this new aspect that is emerging from you. And it's always something that is for your best and highest good. Whenever we get the Death card, it's always for our best and highest good, right? So even the way that I feel very kind of energized by, I did a couple of readings yesterday and I was really tired and I could feel the weight of those readings on me. But with this energy, I feel like there's a lot of, yes, there's some endings, but there's optimism. And I want that to, I'm channeling that energy because it's what's coming through for you. Try your best to feel optimistic and lean into whatever these endings are, because they do, it feels like they're going to kind of release you from whatever grip is holding you at this time. So I'm going to read from the book Thanatos. Okay. The word under Thanatos is death. And I want you to please take that as a synchronicity. As long as I've had this book, I don't have them memorized, right? That's a synchronicity, if ever I saw one. It is tempting to oversimplify death and sum it up as transformation, but the true archetypal resonance of Thanatos cannot be easily assimilated or contained. Death is ongoing and omnipresent, an eternal response to the gift of birth. Witnessing the ending of another being, creature, phase, or stage has deep consequences for the psyche. We are forever changed by Thanatos as it sweeps us under its wings, making us relinquish control in every form. It leaves a mark of ash upon our heart, signifying we have touched the cusp of the underworld and will return to the land of the living eventually, with more compassion and wisdom to share. This capacity is needed in our world. One who has faced the annihilation of Thanatos can face anything. When this card appears, it signifies an initiation into the underworld. Facing Thanatos leads us to Althea, truth. So that's your reading, pile one. It's just a quick message from your guides. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Thank you. Catch you next time. Hi, pile two. Welcome. You chose the unseen. The unseen. And the corresponding crystal that goes with it is a beautiful, gigantic, kind of a really hefty fire quartz. This, sorry for the reflection. This, I can't make it not happen. This quartz crystal, this fire quartz crystal is for goddess energy and also some gossip dispelling. So divine feminine energy. It's very powerful. When I first started working with fire quartz, I couldn't hold it for very long because it did indeed make me very fiery. But I grew to have such a beautiful respect for it. It is all about kind of channeling the lower chakras, the root and the sacral especially, kind of bringing out that sexuality, that creativity. So that could be some energy that you're really stepping into at this time. The spirit wants to draw your attention to. How is it that you express, whatever gender you ascribe to, or if you don't, how do you express the divine feminine energies, the receptivity, the sexuality, the creativity, the fertility? We all have those energies within us. So spirit might be drawing your attention to that with this crystal. But with this unseen, the first thing that I want to remark upon is the technique of the actual image. It reminds me of this artistic technique called pointillism, where you literally kind of do all these tiny, tiny little dots to create the depth of an image. It's a very laborious, tedious process. And Spirit is now showing me a duck with their feet paddling under the water. It's almost as if what is unseen right now, perhaps by others in your life, is how much effort you're putting into something. Maybe, people have a tendency to say to you, oh, pile 2, you make things look easy, like, oh, you know, that's so easy for you, and you're such a pro at this. They don't see all the work that has perhaps gone into the effort of making something look effortless. Right? But the unseen also references, because now Spirit's showing me the moon in my mind, the kind of hidden, the secrets, the what has yet to be revealed. And I feel as though you're taking a very close look at it now with this eye energy, that Spirit is illuminating things for you. Perhaps that you, Spirit said, they showed me the word dream. So maybe you've been seeing this in your dreams, these scenarios, these objects, these people, and you weren't really sure of what to make of it until now. So I'm going to pull 3 cards. We're just going to get a general message from your spirit guides. I'm not going to pull any clarifiers. This is just a quick message to see what's going on with your energy. All right, so 3 cards on the table, and 2 of them are major arcana. Pile 1 also got 2 major arcana as well. Major arcana, the very strong, divinely guided cards within the tarot. Minor arcana are the interactions of everyday life that you and I can affect. First card that came out is the Magician, number 1. Starting out strong here, pile 2. The Magician is known as the master manifester. What you can see in your mind, you can have in your hand. And perhaps you've been manifesting, and it's very clear in your mind what you want, but you haven't seen the tangible physical results of that yet. To which Spirit would say have faith. It's coming. The cards that are laid out here kind of show that to me. This is somebody who harnesses the power of all 4 suits in the tarot. The 4 suits being swords, wands, cups, and pentacles. So the elements, earth, air, fire, and water. It's this understanding of how we can use the resources within our lives to make moves. It's not simply about putting the thought out there of what we want. It's also taking steps, as the Magician would, to approach it. So, you know, it's like you take 5 steps towards Spirit, they take 100 steps towards you. The intention and the action have to be aligned within your life. So let's say you want to buy a new car or something. You have this idea in your mind, and maybe you don't have the money for it right now, but you have this in your mind, and I'm just throwing this out there, like very luxury, high performance car, whatever that means to you. I don't even drive, so I don't know why I'm using this scenario, but it's a dream car, but you don't have the money. But you've done your research, you know how much it would cost every month to pay for this car, you know the color, you know the year, you know where you would buy it, and you're trying to manifest it. So that's great, and that's the beginning. And so now Spirit knows what you want. So now what is it that you're doing to make that happen? You might start having conversations with people about how to finance a car. You might start doing side hustles, and every time you have a side hustle, you just put it in your savings or you invest it. And you're just like, I'm just going to keep putting money into this one spot so that it will grow interest over time, and I'm going to buy my car with that money. I'm not going to touch it. But every day you put a little bit aside, a little bit aside. It's just an example, right? But that's how manifestation works. There are some instances where miracles just fall into our lap. I've witnessed it. I've experienced it. It's kind of amazing, right? But we want to be proactive, because then it gets to us perhaps a little bit faster. And that's what the Magician energy is all about. Number 20, the Judgment card. Your life's blueprint, your life's path. Whatever this is, whatever you are trying to manifest, it is in alignment with what you are meant to do in this life. Why did I come here? Why did I come to the earth school? So let's bump it up a little bit and maybe approach a spiritual connection, right? Just as an example, I'm here to help raise the vibration of humanity. How? By writing the novel that's inside of me. I have stories that are inside of me, fictional stories, or perhaps stories of leadership, or nonfiction, whatever. And I'm here to be a creative, or I'm here to be a teacher, and I want to write down my thoughts and my inspiration and put it into the form of a book and publish that book and share it with the world. And maybe I'll inspire people along the way and raise vibrations and allow other people to see that they can do it too, whatever it is, right? That actually sounds, that's amazing, right? If that was something that your path, whatever your path is, we're approaching this beautiful alignment, right? The Judgment card is about choosing that path. It's about getting onto that path, right? Because we know in certain scenarios, when we meet resistance, it's probably not for us. There's probably something happening there, just like, oh, at every turn, when I try to work on this, I keep getting stopped, or something gets in the way, or I'm being pulled. Maybe I'm not supposed to work on this right now, right? And it's just, there's a cognizance there, like there's an awareness and an observation. What is happening around you, right? And what is happening within you too, right? Are you feeling a lack of confidence? Are you feeling like nobody's gonna like your story? These are just examples. But when these two cards come together, this feels very confident. It feels like you're really sure. You might not have all the answers. You might not see the end path. You know that you want to write the book. I know that I want to write the book, but I don't know which audience. Is it going to be science fiction? Is it going to be romance? Is it going to be self-help? Is it going to be science? I don't know which kind of book I want to write, but I know that I have the ability and the impetus and the drive to do so. So there still could be some things that you're working out there, but I see this as like really, it's almost like spirit. This is you and this is spirit kind of like nudging you back onto that path. And where does that path end up? The 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is beyond wish fulfillment. All these cups are full of love and beauty and creativity and relationships and friendships and family, right? It's blissfulness, it's joy and happiness and prosperity. The 10 of Cups is just, we're feeling on top of the world. And so all of these cards for you today, let me just hold them up for you, just speak of somebody who is in alignment. So if there was any kind of doubt that you had, please put that to rest and keep going. It is about walking towards that goal. So really take steps. Don't wait. Do it now, in this moment. Make the decision. And I'm going to read from the book for the unseen. The unseen, the spirit, the ancestor, the eternal. The unseen is just as it sounds. We cannot see it, yet it sees us, watching and waiting with wisdom, both kind and instructive. We feel this presence, sense it, intuit it, and then doubt its existence. Isn't that what I just said? Though it rallies our attention time and time again. The energy of the unseen may come in many forms: a compelling dream, a sudden insight, a clear voice, a vision or message from a loved one who has passed to the other side. It is natural to fear these communications as they challenge our perception of what is real. When this card appears, your guides are near. The eternal is present. The doorway between worlds is ajar. Listen. The sounds may seem as though they come from a distant land, but they call from your innermost chambers. that is your reading, pile 2. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. See you soon. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose pile 3, you chose the Crone card. The Crone, which also has a crow or raven in it. And the associating crystal is a lapis lazuli that has some hints of pyrite in it, or fool's gold. Lapis lazuli is such a, I mean, all crystals are ancient, but in ancient traditions, lapis lazuli was just heralded in its for its ability to channel kind of the spirit world, but also I'm feeling a tunneling in my ear, so the spirit world is coming through for you, pile 3. But it's also a crystal that I personally use for communication. So as blue is related to the throat chakra, blue crystals help to speak more clearly. And so if you were drawn to this pile and you were drawn to this crystal, perhaps you are finding it challenging at this time for some reason to communicate your thoughts clearly to other people, or perhaps you have something coming up over the horizon where you have to do some public speaking, that you would just benefit from channeling the energy of this crystal. So once again, it's called lapis lazuli. So with the Crone energy, actually the first thing that I notice about this card is this coin here that very much resembles a pentacle of the tarot, but also it reminds me of the Star of David, of course, that it, you know, there's, I do believe there's even some kind of symbols of Hebrew writing down here, so that may resonate for you. So it's kind of like this, you know, they say that crows, when they befriend people, when they befriend humans, sometimes they bring gifts. And so I've seen many videos on Instagram, whatever, of people who give crows like little bites of food to eat, and the crow will come back and bring them a little gift. Sometimes it's like a paper clip or a string, but there's this one crow, I've seen this video a couple times, they find money. I don't know how they, I don't think that they can discern that it's money, but they only bring money. They only bring coins. So that could really resonate for you somehow, that maybe you are connecting to animal totems, animal spirits, animal symbolism in some way in your dreams or in your astral projection. That could be really relevant to you. They could be bringing you something, right? As spirit always is bringing us messages and signs and synchronicities. The Crone energy is part of this trilogy, especially in this deck, which I do not have memorized by any account, but there is a trilogy in this deck called Mother, Maiden, Crone, or Maiden, Mother, Crone, excuse me, talking about divine feminine energy. And by the time we reach the Crone energy, there is this kind of wisdom that has occurred within the divine feminine, this older energy, one that has experienced a lot of life and is now acting as kind of a teacher, right? So you could be relating to that wise energy at this time. I just felt like I wanted to say like a grandparent, just a grandmother in spirit that you connect to. This is just for some. That speaks to you, that speaks to you in dreams, or is somebody that you were really close to in life and are still close to, if they have passed. So take that as it resonates. I'm going to pull 3 cards for the spread today. It's just a general message. There are no clarifiers. I'm just going to get a temperature from your spirit guides. What is the most kind of crucial message that they want to bring to you at this time? The first card that is coming out here is the Ten of Cups. This showed up in pile 2, and I did shuffle very vigorously. But the Ten of Cups is all about this prosperity energy. It's water, so it's Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and it talks about love and emotions and compassion and empathy and these places within our heart chakra that speak to us. And by the time we reach the 10, it's like this blissful, joyful energy that we are so happy, that we are so grateful. It's the card of gratitude for all of the abundance that has been shown to us. All right, so that's a really nice energy to be in. It's kind of like Spirit saying, like, you, actually, Spirit just showed me, they just said the word offerings. So maybe you are the kind of person that when you go to your place of worship or something like that, you give, I think it's called tithes, like you give offerings, you give money to the church or to, you know, your synagogue or like whatever organization as a donation, as a part of your religious practice. And here it really speaks to it, doesn't it? This offering, Spirit just gave that to me. It says almost like you putting money in the bowl, passing around the bowl, and you put $1, $2, $20, whatever, in the bowl for people who are in need. So that could be, and if it's not money, it's like your time, like you found a way to kind of put something in your schedule where you volunteer your time, and it brings you a lot of satisfaction, it brings you a lot of joy to do so, and puts you in a space of gratefulness. That's really beautiful. I like that a lot. The next card out, I'm just going to cover this up a little bit, is the Star energy. Number 17 of the major arcana. This is Aquarius. The Star energy is quite beautiful because it talks about this process of healing that we've gone through. You know, perhaps if I'm just using that kind of donation and volunteerism as a example. Maybe the reason why you do that is because at a certain time in your life you didn't have things. Maybe you grew up without, you grew up poor, you grew up lacking in some way, and so now that you're in adulthood, you might feel called to give back, give to other people who are less fortunate than you. And that's something that you could have been perhaps healing from, like a past wounding related to that. Or another kind, right? The Star can encompass any kind of healing that we're going through right now, but it also shows a kind of, it feels like a kind of maturity that, like, some of us, when we go through a process of healing, we don't do it alone. Sometimes we have to go to therapy, or we rely on kind of external forces to assist us. Maybe we're relying on Spirit or whatever it is. It's the act of asking for help that denotes a kind of maturity, instead of saying, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. To be able to call out to somebody and say, hey, look, I'm not fine. I'm not doing okay. I feel sad, I feel depressed, I feel lost, I feel alone, I feel abandoned, I feel neglected, whatever it is, whatever we're hearing, and it doesn't have to be dramatic. It could be very dramatic, but it doesn't have to be. But it's just, maybe it's just something that you are really not wanting to carry with you. And so you know that there needs to be this process of healing. I also want to point out in this card, this color and this color, how similar they are. Take that as it resonates. I don't know how else that is significant, except that it feels extremely similar. It's very mirrored energy. With the Crone, You know, maybe it has to do with that grandmotherly energy that you are. There perhaps could be an object that connects you to a person in spirit, like an older divine feminine in spirit. Your guides are actually showing me the scene in Harry Potter where it's like, I don't know, I assume that you know the story of Harry Potter. In Harry Potter, there is somebody in spirit for Harry. It's his godfather, Sirius. And there's this mirror, these broken shards of mirrors that connect the two of them. It's like they look into the mirror, and it's like telephone game. They can talk to each other, see each other through that mirror. And when Sirius, spoiler alert, passed away, Harry held on to that piece of mirror, hoping that he could connect to his godfather again. So there's something, the Spirit showing that to me. The final card out is the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Three of Pentacles in the upright talks about collaboration, co-creation, working together towards sorry, there's some imagery here, towards a common goal. But when the card is in reverse, it's almost as if we, for now, Spirit is showing me that you're kind of taking a step back from them, and they're quite all right with that, that you might be going to other people for guidance. Like, you might be actually going to other people as opposed to Spirit for guidance. You could be asking for help in other ways, and that's just fine. But I do see this kind of pulling back a little bit, right? There's just this pulling back. You're just trying to figure your stuff out. And Spirit sees that, and they're like respecting it. They want me to say, though, that they're always there for you if you need them. You just have to ask. So it's number 13, Crone energy. I'm going to read from the book. Why can't I find this? Here we are. 13. The witch, the old woman, the sage. The crone has seen it all. Nothing frightens or surprises her. She is the final manifestation in the feminine trifecta of Maiden Mother Crone. In her long life, she's witnessed endless cycles of death, sex, failure, rebirth, conflict, and regeneration, giving her the ability to rise above the world of duality. She laughs at notions of good or bad, right or wrong, as she has seen the earth churning, smoldering, taking life and giving life. The crone energy accepts everything in, devouring beauty and suffering with the same mouth. Using their energy to reveal hidden secrets and knowledge, her energy resides in all of us, though it is feared by most for its power and unconventional relationship with death and the macabre. Awakening the crone is dangerously rich and unapologetically magic. So that's your reading, pile 3. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. See you soon.